Alright. Yo, what up, everyone? Welcome back to my Twitch, Kick, Rumble, and YouTube channels. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow. Look into the description below so you guys can follow and subscribe to my other channels. And let's see. We are gonna continue with our Python lessons on Boot.Dev or Boot.Dev. Alright, so let's go over Learn to Code in Python chapters that we have completed so far, or that I have completed so far. Alright, let me just switch the scene so you guys could see. Alright. Alright, so introduction, variables, functions, scope, and I'm on chapter 5, testing and debugging. Then we'll have computing, comparisons, loops, lists, dictionaries, sets, errors, practice, and quiz. I got 57 out of 179 done. Let's look at my notifications. I lost my streak. New challenge was available. Alright, mark all as read. I am a level 10 apprentice. And let us continue learning. Alright. I'll just reread it. I don't remember it. Unit test. Up until this point, all the coding lessons you've completed have been testing you based on your code's console output. What's printed? For example, a lesson might expect your code in conjunction with the code we provide to print something like armor 2, health 18. If your code prints that exact output, you pass. If it doesn't, you fail. A new type of lesson. So going forward, you'll encounter a new type of lesson, unit tests. A unit test is just an automated program that tests a small unit of code, usually just a function or two. The editor will have tabs, the main.py file containing your code and the main_test.py file containing the unit tests. Alright. These new unit test style lessons will test your code's functionality rather than its output. Our test will call functions in your code with different arguments and expect certain values. If your code returns the correct values, you pass. If it doesn't, you fail. There are two reasons for this change. It's more realistic. In the real world, you'll be writing unit tests and running them against your code to make sure it works as expected. You can run and debug your code with print statements and leave those print statements in when you submit. Unlike the output-based lessons, you won't have to remove your print statements to pass. Also, run and submit work a little differently than before. When you run your code, it only runs some of the tests, but when you submit your code, it runs all the tests. This is to simulate a production environment with unexpected edge cases and to teach you to think them through. Luckily for you, all the tests are visible in the main_test.py file tab. So the main test.py is right here. So be sure to always check them before submitting. Assignment. Complete the total XP function. It accepts two integers, level and XP to add. There are 100 XP per level. Okay. So total_XP should convert the current level to XP. Okay. Then add the current XP to add argument and return the player's total XP. For example, if a player is level 1 and gains 100 XP, they have 200 total XP. If a player is level 2, it gains 250 XP and they have 450. So Level 2. Okay. So 100 XP for level 1 and 250 for level 2. So it's gonna add another 50, right? I'm guessing so. If a player is level 1 and gains 100, they have 200 XP total. There are 100 XP per level. Alright. Okay, convert the current level to XP, then add the current XP to the XP to add argument and return the players. Okay, so they already have 100 at level 1? No. They gain 250. So what, they start off at 100 at level 1? The player is at level 1. It gains 100. They have a total of 200 XP. So they start off with 100. 100 XP gets added. The next level it gains 250, and now they have 450. That will make sense. If a player is at level 170, it's a big ass number. I'm not going to do the math on that. It gains 590 XP. They have a total of 17,590 total XP. Alright, the pass keyword is a way to tell Python to do nothing. You'll need to replace it with your own code. So, alright. I'm gonna put it right there. Tips. Take a look at the main /test.py file at the top of your editor. You can read the tests, but you can't edit them. Alright. If a lesson expects a return value, make sure to always run a return value, or else you may encounter some cryptic non-type errors. Alright, so from main import star run cases equals 1 200 300 250 250. Submit cases equals run cases plus 000. So 0 200 200. What does this do? 176 350 17. Okay, 250 100 25,100. So let's see. Definition test input 1 2 expected output. Right now it inputs 1 200 expected 300 actual none fail. Inputs 250 okay fail. 0 passed 2 failed 4 skipped. Alright. So let's just ask Boots, how do I start? Kind of brain dead. I haven't gone to sleep yet. Insomnia is a bitch. Alright. Good question, young coder bear in training. Right now your function always returns none because of the pass. So the tests all fail. Let's think it through step by step. So each level is worth 100. If a player is level 3, how much XP is that? Before adding XP to add. Once you computed the XP from the level, you need to add XP to add. What Python expression would add those two values together? Finally, the function must give the total back to the caller. What keyword do we use to send a value back from a function? Try answering these in your own words, then write one line to convert level XP. another line to add XP to add, and then one to return line. Show me what you come up with and we'll improve it together. Alright, so let's see. If a player is level 3, how much XP is that? Okay. Should convert the current level to XP. I'm thinking of like what I should name as the variable. Input 1, 2, expected output. So test. Total XP, let's see, definition main passed, failed. One, 200, 300, 250, 250. Alright, and then it's saying each level is worth 100 XP. If a player is level 3, how much XP is that? Okay, so level 3 would be... Alright, so 450 plus 100, that'll be 550. Right? Right? Am I tripping? So if a player is level 1 and gains 100, they get 200. They have 200. And then at level 2 it gains 250. So that multiplies it by 1.5, right? Now they have 450. So at level 3, let me just see. Let me get my calculator. So let's 1.5 times 2 equals 3. Alright, so let's see, 100 plus 100, because it's level 1 he gains 100. Now he has 200. And then at level 2, let's see, gets another 100. Wait, what? Alright, so gain 250. But why does he gain 250 at level 2? So level and then XP to add 200. And what is this one right here? 300. 250, and 250. Okay, I'm getting kind of lost here. Each level is worth 100. Okay. If a player is at level 3, how much XP is that? So 300? But how would that fucking work? Because at level 1, he has 200. What is this right here? 300. And then run cases 250. Or maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe that has nothing to do with level and XP to add. Try answering these in your own words, then write. Okay, one line to convert level to XP. So XP equals level. I'm guessing you level one line to convert, one line to add XP to. Okay. XP equals level times 100. Alright, and then another line to add XP. Or alright, so XP equals level times 100 or plus 100. So it's level 2, 100, and then I'm gonna put, maybe I should do this level times 100 and then plus XP to add. Let's put return XP. It says and a return line. Return total XP. Nah, return XP. Should I add another fucking variable right there? XP right there. Or maybe not. Let's see. This ain't gonna work or do anything, is it? 2 passed, 0 failed, 4 skipped. So input 1, 200. Expected, 300. Actual, 300. Pass. Inputs 2 and 50. Expected 250. Actual 250. Passed. So 2 passed. Alright, so is that it? Oh my god! I thought I was wrong. I got that right? It says add one line to add the XP to add. Alright, but I used 3 lines. I just put it on the second line right here. Wow, okay. Okay, let me try to gather my thoughts because I'm like, okay, so I do understand it. Why did and how did I get that? Okay, so basically I looked at this over here and I'm thinking, because these are 3 parameters, right? And then I'm thinking it's kind of like the parameters over here, except there's only 2 here, level and XP to add. And then third one is I I I well actually third one is what it's supposed to be, right? So 1, 200, 300, or am I overthinking it? Whatever. Anyways, basically each level is worth 100, right? So if you go, you have to multiply by 100 because fucking let's level 1 times 100, you have 100 XP. Level 2 over here, level 2, 2 times let's see, 2 times 100 is 200, and then you have to add the it says 250 right here. 250, it gains 250 XP. Why? Okay, so level times 100. Okay, so 1 times 100 is 100 plus the XP to add. Uh, is itself, right? There are 100 XP. You should convert the level to XP. Where are the there are 100 XP per level, so there's 100 per level. So right here, this is where it tells us that each one gets 100. Alright, so that's how much that is added each level. So 1 times 100. Oh, okay. At level 1, it gets 100, so that's like addition. That's like the given. So 100. They have 200 XP total. So now, oh no, wait. So each level is 100. So level 1 means you have 100 XP. And then it gains 100. Now you have total 200 XP to add. So this one is saying that you add 100, right? XP to add. Is it over here? Where's XP to add? Total XP is input 1 and 2. The result equals expected output, and expected output is here. Where else is it? From main import run cases 1, 200, 300. Submit. Where the fuck did he? How did I get that? I can't even explain how I got that, but the math wise and shit. So every one of them gets 100, so it's the level times 100, and then you add the XP to add. I'm guessing the XP to add is whatever is the last total, right? Yeah. XP to add holds the previous total XP, right? Because it's total XP, you're giving two parameters, the level and then the XP to add. So this is like a container, I'm guessing. This holds the previous one. So level 1, let's say 1 times 100 is 100. And then each level, let's see, you gain 100. So that's 200. Now let's say this is 2. So now you have 200 saved, right? 200. So it holds 200. Level 2 times 100 is 200. And then you add 200 because the previous one was 200. And then it just keeps returning over and over, however many times you ask for. Yeah, that's how it works. Okay. Whew. I probably confused everyone else watching this. They're like, what the fuck is he talking about? Alright. Two lesson types. As we talked about, there are two types of coding lessons on Boot.Dev. 1. Console output lessons. 2. Unit test lessons. Console output lessons. Only one file of code, usually with a comment explaining where to write your code. When you submit your code, its console output must match the expected output exactly to pass. Debug print statements will cause your code to fail submission, so remove them before submitting. Alright. Unit test lessons. Two files of code, main and main_test. Okay? You can read the tests, but you can't edit them. When you submit your code, the return values of your functions must match the expected values exactly to pass. Console output is ignored. You can leave the debug print statements in your code, which is more common. Going forward, you'll encounter far more unit test lessons than console output lessons, but you'll still see both from time to time. Different concepts are better suited to different types of lessons. Okay. Alright, right here is asking what type of lessons can you safely submit your debug print statements left in your code? Unit test, console. Now I already forgot what I read. Unit tests. Because right here, from reading it, it says console output must match as expected output exactly to pass. And then over here is asking what type of the lesson can you safely submit with your debug print statements left in your code. So like if this has to be exact, like it's more safer for this one. No, actually this one says the same thing. Console output is ignored. You can leave the debug print statements right here. Okay, right here. From here to here. You can leave the debug print statements in your code. Alright, next. Debugging. When you're working as a professional developer, you'll typically write code on your computer and test it by yourself before it's deployed to users. That first part of the process is called debugging. You write some code, run it, and then if it doesn't work, you fix the bugs. You repeat the process until you're confident that your code works as expected. Alright, run versus submit. At Boot.Dev, the run button is for debugging. The submit button mimics the idea of publishing your code for production use. You should be debugging your code using the run button. You should be adding print statements to your code to make sure it's doing what you think it's doing at different points of the code. So write a line to calculate a value, print the value you calculated, run the code, did it print what you expected, if not fix it, and then repeat. You will never lose XP or be penalized on Boot.Dev for using the run button. However, there are consequences for submitting broken code, just like there are career consequences for pushing broken code to your users. The submit button will run additional tests. When you use the run button, a few tests will run against your code. However, the submit button will run additional tests that you're not able to debug against. That's what keeps it fun and realistic. It's hard to know what your users will do with your code. Assignment. Complete the take magic damage function. It should return the new health. Alright, the new health after calculating how much magic type damage the player takes. Here is the description of the arguments. Alright, health, resist, amp, and spell power. Health is the player's starting health. Resist is the player's magic resistance. This reduces the damage they take by a static amount. Amp, the attacker's magic amplification. This increases the damage they deal by a multiplier. Spell power, the base damage of the spell. First, calculate the total maximum damage to be inflicted by multiplying the spell power by the amp. Then subtract the resist from the total damage to get the actual damage dealt. Apply that damage to the player's health and return the new health. Alright, so my new health is going to be the variable that I create. New underslash health. Alright, let me just make sure real quick that my microphone is working. Okay, it's working. Alright, new underslash health has to equal. Alright, so the first one, first calculate total maximum damage to be inflicted by multiplying the spell power by the amp. So multiply, oh shit. No, what am I doing? Alright, my bad. My bad. Okay, so we're doing this part first. So here, multiply spell power. So spell power. Okay. We multiply that by amp. Alright. Then subtract the resist from the total damage. Alright, so this goes first. So put in parentheses. And then we're gonna subtract resist from the total damage and get the actual damage dealt. So minus resist, and then it says apply that damage to the player's health and return the new health. Okay, so here all we're gonna do is return, let's see, new health. That's all we should do, right? 0 pass, 2 failed. Alright, so inputs 105, 2, and 20. Expected 65, we got 35. We forgot the multiplier, didn't we? Oh, oh, let's see. First calculate the total maximum damage to be inflicted by multiplying the spell power by the amp. Then subtract the resist from the total damage to get the actual damage, and then apply that damage to player's health and return new health. Alright, and then let's see. What we're gonna do is put that in parentheses, and then we're gonna add the health. So this is gonna be last. So this parentheses within the parentheses goes first. Alright, spell power times the amplification. Then the outside parentheses goes next. We get this and subtract the resist, and then we add the health. So we add, yeah, then return new health. Run. 0 pass, 2 failed, 4 skips. Alright, so that didn't work. Expected 65. So instead of adding, we're gonna subtract, but we're gonna move this over here. Right, and then subtract. So health, Jesus, H, health minus the spell power amp. So these get multiplied, then subtract the resistance, and then subtract this from the health. Let's see, 2 passed, 0 failed, 4 skipped. Now it works. Alright, so you just have to make sure you play around with the parentheses and put it in the right order so that it makes sense mathematically. Except there's no numbers here, so you have to like basically, if you do this on paper or in your head, then just put a random digit like 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just, yeah. So the health is whatever the health integer or whatever. These are all like gonna have an integer as health, as resist, as amp, as spell power, and the inputs are the given number that gets attached to it. So health is 100, resist is 5, amplification is multiplier 2, spell power is 20, and so on. Alright. Did I? I didn't submit. Okay. Next. Alright, achievement earned. Complete 60 exercises. Woohoo! Alright, learning effectively. This course is about to get a bit harder. There's no way around it. If programming were a walk in the park, everyone would be earning 6 figures as a software engineer. But it's not. And to succeed without getting stuck and frustrated, you need to learn how to learn. Alright, process for solving hard coding problems. 1. Read the lesson first. Figure out the examples before writing your own code. 2. Read the assignment. Understand the goal of the assignment before you start writing code. 3. Start writing the code. 4. Add print statements. Don't wait until you've written a lot of code to start testing. Add print statements and use the run button to see if your code is doing what you expect at each step. Excuse me. It's easier to find issues in small bits of code than in large blocks of code. So keep running, printing, and fixing until you're confident your code is working. Submit your code is number 5. Submit your code. If the assignment you're working on has unit tests, no need to remove your debugging print statements. Okay. If the statement you're working on is testing console output, be sure to remove your print statements before submitting. Alright, 6. Last one. Compare your code to your instructors or to the instructors. You will not be penalized for looking at the solution after you have successfully completed the assignment. Excuse me again. Alright, additional tidbits. Try to use Boots before peeking at the solution. Alright, Boots is quite good at giving you pointed hints to help you solve the problem on your own. It's okay to peek at the solution when you're completely stuck every once in a while, but don't make it a habit. If you find that you're always stuck, you should restart the chapter or course to make sure you understand the material. You can reset your code for an assignment with the reset button. Where's the reset button? I don't see no reset button. For example, maybe you've forgotten which modifications you made versus which code was left by the instructor. You can reset all your cache code from the settings page. This is useful if you want to restart a course or chapter. Alright, so from the settings page, that would be I don't know where. Probably in the dashboard, but whatever. Alright, you will be penalized for peeking at the solution after you have successfully completed an assignment. False. Alright. Same stuff, right? Yep. Temporarily adding print statements is a good way to submit your code to the grader, quickly test and debug small pieces of code. This is the answer. Lose some XP. Get carpal tunnel syndrome. It's this one right here. When you're stuck, which should you do first? Whine on X, Twitter, about how hard coding is. Pick at the solution. Ask Boots a question about your code. Do this one first. And then peek at the solution. So far, I haven't peeked at the solution. I'm trying not to. Alright. Chapter 5, Lesson 7. Almost done with Chapter 5. Alright, keep going. Whew, sleep deprived. But I'm still doing it. Alright, debugging practice. I want to walk you through how I approach writing code, complete with all the debugging steps I take along the way. The goal is to write small amounts of code and then test each bit of code to make sure it is doing what we expect before moving on. Try to write entire programs at once is a recipe for pain and suffering. The goal is to write a few lines, test them, and then write a few more lines and repeat until you're done. This isn't a technique that's unique to beginners. Even senior engineers write code in this way. Okay. Assignment. Let's complete the unlock achievement function. It accepts 3 arguments. Okay, so unlock achievement before XP. Okay. Before XP, XP, Is it ACH or ACK? It's ACH for achievement. Okay, achievement, XP, achievement name, integer. This one is a string. So what it should do is return 2 values. The player's XP after achievement is unlocked, the sum of the before XP, and achievement XP. Alright, so we're going to add these two. an alert message that says achievement unlocked, achievement / name, where achievement / name is the name of the achievement. Okay. Achievement name. Okay, so this is an alert message that says this. Achievement name. Let's start by running the code in its current state. Alright. Okay, it's gonna say indentation error expected and indented block after function definition. I don't see that here. Oh, yeah. It's at the very bottom. Alright, looks like we're getting a syntax error. Python doesn't allow you to have an empty function body. To get past this error, let's just return two dummy values from the function. So definition, unlock achievement before XP. This, return none, none. So we're gonna copy this and put it here. Alright. Let me backspace, enter, there we go. So let's run the code again. This time you should get a syntax error, but your test should fail because you're returning the incorrect values. Let's fix that. Let's start by calculating the new amount of XP. Update the function body. Alright, so input 100 to 20, speedster. Okay. Expected 120. Achievement unlocked, speedster, actual, none, none, fail. Alright. So it's expecting 120, comma, achievement unlocked, speedster. Alright, so let's start by calculating the new amount of XP, update the function body. So def unlock achievement before XP, this, after XP, before XP. So it did it for us. Alright. Let's control V. Alright. It says run the code again. Alright. 0 passed, 2 failed, 2 skipped. Okay, still failed. It says this time you should see the after XP, after /XP value printed to the console. Does it look correct? It shouldn't. We have a bug. The after XP right here, right? Where else is it? The after XP should be the sum of the before XP and achievement XP. So this should be a plus. Fix the code and run it again to make sure it's working. Alright, so here you make it into an addition symbol, run it again. 0 passed, 2 failed, 2 skipped. Alright. After XP is 120 now. Expected 120. Alright, so that's good. Once that's working, oh wait, fix the code. Okay, I'm on this part right here. Once that's working, remove the print statement and return the after XP value instead of the first none. Alright, so it says remove the print statement. Alright, so for the first one, we're gonna return after XP. After XP instead of the first none. Run the code again. Alright, so now says expected 120 achievement unlocked speedster. The actual is 120, none, fail. So the second one needs to return something else. Alright. You should see that your tests are closer. The first expected and actual values should match for each test. The second return value is still broken, so let's fix it. Alright, cool. Now that we have the after XP value, we need to create an alert message, update the function body. So the after XP none. So this right here is added to this. Yep. Add this to at the bottom. Alright. This says run the code. 0 passed, 2 failed, 2 skipped. Alright, so input 120 speedster achievement speedster expected 120 achievement unlocked speedster actual 120 none. Alright. It says run the code in this console output. Is the console output what you expect? We want the alert to say achievement unlocked achievement / name. Okay. Looks like the output is missing the word unlocked. Fix the bug, then run the code again to make sure it's working. So now it's telling me to fix it. Achievement unlocked right here, and then just put it right there. Space, Control V, and then run it again. It should work. Achievement unlocked, killer. Speedster, killer. Okay. Alright, when you're confident, remove the print statement and return the alert value instead of the second none. Alright, so let's delete the print statement. And then it says return the alert. So alert for the second one. Alright, and then run it. 2 passed, 0 failed, 2 skipped. Submit. Yay. Alright. Now that your tests are passing, submit your code so it runs against all the test cases. Remember, when you run instead of submit, you're only able to see a few of the tests. The submit button will run all the tests, which might catch bugs you didn't know you had. That's why it's important to debug with print statements and run the button before submitting. Cool, cool. Next. Alright. Right. Stack trace. A stack trace or traceback is a scary looking error message that Python interpreter prints to the console when it encounters certain problems. Stack traces are most common, at least for you right now, when you're trying to run invalid Python code. You need to get used to figuring out scary error message as a programmer. We might as well start now. Assignment. Go ahead and run the code in its current state. You should see something like this. Alright. Yep. Python error, traceback most recent call. Execute line 17 in module. String line 1. Home pyodide main.py line 3. Message you have strength, wisdom. Okay. Indentation error. Unindent does not match any outer indentation level. Okay. So the first one, it says Python error traceback most recent call last. This is a standard header that's just letting you know that Python traceback is what we're looking at. Okay. Number two, file exec line 17 in module and file string line 1 in module. This is the start of the trace. These strange exec and string files don't really exist. The Python interpreter is letting us know about them because they have to do with how your code is executed in a virtual based environment. Alright, 3. File, home, okay. File, line 3. Okay. Now we're getting to the real meat of the error message. The purpose of trace is to show us the path that the Python interpreter took through your code before it encountered the error, which can help us figure out what went wrong. In this case, the interpreter was executing the code in main.py over here, and it got to line 3 before encountering the error, or before it encountered the error. Alright. This is the line of code that caused the error. Indentation error. Unindent does not match any outer indentation level. Alright. Alright, this is the type of error that was raised. In this case, it's an indentation error, which means that the Python interpreter was expecting a certain amount of indentation, white space at the beginning of the line, but it didn't get what it was expecting. Okay. It says don't be fooled. The proper amount of indentation in Python is 4 spaces or 1 tab stroke. In this case, line 2 is actually indented to 6 spaces, which is why the interpreter is confused. Fix line 2. So line 2, alright, sweet. I mean, you could visually see it, the indentation error right there. Alright, run the code again. You should see another error this time. You should see another error, but this time the last few lines are something like this. Syntax error, undetermined string literal detected at line 3. Okay, now we have a syntax error, which is just a more general type of error related to invalid code. Take a close look at line 3 and fix the problem. Alright. String literal. Alright, how do I look at the rest of it? Okay. Unterminated string literal detected. Return message. Okay. Okay, so it's just missing the ending quotation. Run. Past, past. Alright. Yo, what up, Bree? I'm almost done with this stream, though, but thanks for joining. Alright, submitting. Alright, finish with chapter 5. Alright, chapter 6. We got chapter 6 to. Okay, we're almost halfway there. Alright. Well, technically, because practice and quiz might not count, so we are halfway there, but we have to do the practice and quiz or whatever. Alright. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this stream, you guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we've learned something together. I know I am learning. Yeah, it's been very useful. It's teaching you, well, it's teaching me stuff that I didn't learn and haven't learned yet in any of my classes yet, and it does it in a different way. Simplifies it, makes it click, and it does make you think. Um, Other than that, like the fundamentals, again, like reading a textbook or ebook, if you guys get the ebook, same shit. If you read everything, you'll get the fundamentals out. Read everything while you program. Some of the textbooks, they have like programming type stuff. It is time consuming to type everything out and then test it and see what it does and then move on. Me, I'm like the mandatory textbook for one of my classes where it's like C++ but more in depth, which is bullshit because like if you're gonna take a C++ class and spend a whole semester, let us fucking go in depth in the first fucking place and then start from the beginning of the chapter, because the textbooks already like they make it like the beginning shit, or at least for this textbook the beginning shit, yeah, everything's fundamentals, but like the introduction is, I just feel like the introduction of a textbook is like half a semester, and that's a waste of time and money. I could have learned this a lot quicker. Like learning Python and stuff, like the amount of time that I'm actually getting on here and doing it, you guys can tell if you go to the playlist on my YouTube channel. I'm doing only 1 hour live streams or episodes, right? So you tally all of them up, and actually, let's do that right now because this is the 7th stream, right? So a total of 7 hours, and I've already gone through 5 chapters. So each chapter, I would say about an hour to get through them, maybe depending on your speed, reading and comprehension skills and stuff. But let's just say an hour. So that's 14 hours Python. All right, you've already in 14 hours you could learn Python. Compare that to a whole semester, which a semester is like, so there's 2.5 months at the beginning and the end, right? So let's say spring semester is January to like about May. So this January, February, March, April, May, and then the first and last months are usually half a month. So 4 months, 4 whole months wasted to not even learn Python. Because I remember my first class, CISP 300 at Consumers River College at Los Rios Community College, if you guys want to look it up, here in Sacramento, California, right? Python, everything was heavily rushed. I mainly just focused on trying to submit the assignments, and like, to be honest, I wasn't reading everything, and if I did, went out the window. I mean, it just, I read it and I forgot it, and then completely forgot everything I learned because you move on to a different subject, general education, classes and stuff that you have to take in order to earn that degree, and you start to forget shit. Same way with math. If you're not concurrently taking math and the next level math, you're gonna forget shit, and then shit out of luck. I've never uh, liked, I hated the public school system or the educational system since ever. It's easy, and it's you could figure out a way to pass, get good grades, pass tests, pass high school. It was fucking easy as fuck. That's why when I said on my last stream, my GPA in high school could have been up there. Not I'm not a genius. I'm not that much of a, well, kind of still a nerd, but I fucked up my own grades because, let's see, sophomore, right? Is freshman, sophomore. My junior year, or sometime at the end of my junior year, I dropped my pack basically. I said, fucking, this shit is boring as fuck, and yeah, I messed up my own grades. Failed some classes and stuff because I didn't go to take the test on purpose. I started ditching and stuff like that because fuck that. Anyways, I still passed. I still graduated with a decent GPA. Oh, at high school, but that's because I figured out how to uh, not rig the public school system, but like I figured out how it's kind of rigged or set up. So it was easy to pass high school for sure. And then I calculated in my head, like, well, I'm not that much of a like good with my GPA enough to be able to get any scholarships. And even then, it's like I'm gonna join the military no matter what anyway. So again, I purposely did not sign up for any college courses or university around me. I knew I was gonna join, and I signed up, joined 3 days after I graduated. No, 4 days, right? I graduated May 28th, 2013 on a Wednesday, and then I was in boot camp the next Monday. I was at the hotel on Sunday. No, I was at the hotel over the weekend, and then Sunday night. No, it was Monday morning, but as early in the morning. Airplane got to San Diego in about an hour and a half, and then the shit began. It began. I was at boot camp, and then 3 months boot camp, another month of Marine combat training, another month, maybe a month and a half of uh, the schoolhouse, which is training for your what your job's gonna be for the rest of your 4 years of active duty. And then I got out after my 4 years, and yeah. All right, that's enough of a history lesson. All right, let me switch. All right, you guys know what to do. Giving them likes or dislikes. I don't really care. Dislike it if you want. Comments down below after not live, because it, like anything on live chat, doesn't get saved onto the comments. You guys can leave comments down below, and everyone can read it. Even I can read it and maybe respond to it. Um, Subscribe and follow on Twitch, Kick, Rumble, YouTube. All right. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.